Yeah, you. Get over here, man. Nah, dude, you gotta get closer. Come here. You see that guy over there? I fucking hate that guy. His name's Steve. He's a complete asshole, and he's always acting like he's better than me. Oh, shh. Listen, man, here he comes. Yo, Frost, what's up, dude? I hope your day is going well. How you doing? Man, fuck you, Steve. Go away, bro. Nobody even likes you. Sorry, guys. Like I said, that guy is a complete asshole, and I'm super sorry you had to deal with that. This isn't a race thing, but in order to put that dick Steve in his place, I'm gonna need to enslave you. More accurately, me, you, and all my viewers who joined during my previous live streams are gonna build a slave army large enough to take over a city and embarrass that douchebag Steve. So what do you say? Would you join my army as an honorary warrior slave to put that dick Steve in his place? Oh right, you don't have a choice. In order to build a slave army powerful enough to take over an entire city, we're gonna need to acquire some slaves. Thankfully, I had some viewers who were brave enough to quit their boring 9 to 5 to follow their dreams of being my slave. So congratulations! If your name is currently on the screen right now, there's about a 99% chance that you're gonna die by the end of this video. But at least you'll die doing what you love. We did have one more slave who was a part of our party. However, he refused to listen to me, so we had to demote him to the punching bag role pretty early on. H-Doom, welcome. You're officially a slave now. Your job is gonna be, I don't know, milking the male bulls for milk. Of course, your job's gonna be milking the male bulls for the rest of your life. You're gonna do a great job at it. What is H-Doom doing, dude? We cannot, this guy he's a disobedient slave. We're gonna have to beat this guy. All right, just for that, we're beating you. Everyone, please beat this guy. You've already been demoted for insubordination. Yep, you're getting demoted. After my slaves trained a little with their mobile punching bag, it was time to journey to our faction base in Ark. Ark is considered the headquarters of our warrior slaves. With the previous king dead, it was time for us to go to Ark and take control of things amongst the chaos. There, we could recruit several new slaves to build a slave army that could combat even Steve's. So we began our journey to the headquarters of Ark. However, it wasn't even a few seconds in before I realized what a horrible idea it was to allow my viewers to become slaves. They didn't listen to shit I said. Trumpy Humpy decided it was more important to go on long walks on the beach while we journeyed to get reinforcements. Bored Insomniac took it upon himself to take up a new hobby of watching other people's slaves, and Snow Rain spent the majority of his time beating H-Doom like a piñata. This group was truly hopeless. Despite half of my slaves not listening to a word I said, after properly disciplining them, we were able to wrangle them back together to join us at Ark. Ark was a city full of soldiers who were bred for nothing but war. Take this man, for example. This is the look of a man who clearly yearns for battle. He wishes for a simpler time where common disputes were ended with a rock to the skull. This man craves for the blood of his enemies. After finally making it to Ark, I was able to recruit several more of my war-crazed viewers. However, shortly after doing so, it was clear to me that we had a contagious disease running rampant within our ranks: insubordination. Because several of my slaves took it upon themselves to attack land bats in hopes for a promotion. Alright, you know what? Whoever doesn't die in this fucking land bat battle gets promoted. Alright, let me help you guys out, bro. You guys are suffering down here with these fucking land bats. Oh my god, there's so many slaves! Help! Slaves! Your master's dying! Help! Protect your master, slaves! What are you doing? Stop sitting there and help me, you fools! You are such disobedient slaves. I'm gonna beat each and every one of you if you don't help me. You're all dropping like flies, you fucking idiots. Why did you decide to attack these land bats? Let me see if I can fucking escape while you guys die. After nearly dying from the plague of disobedient slaves within my ranks, it was clear my slaves needed to understand what it truly meant to be a warrior slave. They have yet to see their brothers die in glorious battle. Their bellies were still full of fresh grub from their life before enslavement. And the most saddening news of all, many of them hadn't even enslaved their very first person. So I thought it was a good idea to take my slaves on their very first slave hunt. During the slave hunt, I take them out to face off against other powerful warriors to the death. And the last man standing has the honor of remaining or becoming a new slave in my army. Before marching off with my warriors, I thought it was fitting to give a speech of what could very well be their first and last battle. All right, slaves, slave meeting. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know why we're in medieval times, but listen, everyone listen up. All right, guys, today is a glorious day, my slaves. You will be following your Alpha Chad, the Frostburns, off into a glorious journey. Whether you have flayed skin or robotic skin, whether you're scared or have extremely large breasts, it doesn't matter. You guys are gonna die for me as my loyal slave army. Forward, men! Forward! Chat, stop asking, are we there yet? We just started moving, bro. No, we're not there yet. Trumpy Humpy has been trying to start a rebellion for a really long time. I don't know who the fuck told you to attack people by yourself. And now all the slaves are fucking listening to him instead of me. Oh shit, it's the Crab Raiders! Retreat, retreat! No, retreat, retreat, retreat. This is fucking bad. This is bad. I'm sorry. Some of you guys are gonna get left behind. Someone's gonna need to be sacrificed. Snow Rain, I know you'll be alive. I'm gonna have to sacrifice you, dude. God, this is like a fucking Scooby-Doo chase. Run! Snow Rain is currently dying, and I have no way to heal them. Insomniac is in a coma. Luridin is unconscious. Yeah, this is not looking good. We need to hurry up. Oh my God, is this a Reaver camp? Come on, I need your help. I need your help. All right, come on. Come on, Reavers. Attack! Save the slaves! Charge my Reavers! Yeah, bro, fucking Wiley's going crazy over here with his big boobs. Come on, slave army! Kill these damn bandits! Okay, here we go. We got some reinforcements coming in, chat. Oh God, it's fucking Steve, chat. Steve and his superior slave army has joined. Why can't you guys be more like Steve and his army? Look at them, bro. They're using crossbows. They're working together. They're enslaving people. Steve is always embarrassing me. Look at him. They even have cool chants. Despite Steve meddling his dirty little nose in my business and attempting to help, the outcome of this slave hunt was an absolute horrible disaster. Several of my slaves died in battle, my soldiers were beginning to starve, and most importantly, I had completely embarrassed myself in front of Steve. Yo, Frost, dude, what's up? You know, it's really not even all that bad. At least you tried your best, man. Can you just fuck off, Steve? You are such an asshole. Despite Steve rubbing my defeat in my face, I was able to recall a quote from the late Sun Tzu, publisher of The Art of War. He once said, "Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak." This is when I realized this battle was far from a loss. It was clear to me that the soldiers who stood before me were not failures. They were not only the smartest, but they were also the strongest. By getting the shit utterly beat out of them, it was clear that this was not a sign of weakness. This was instead a sign of masking their strength in order to eliminate those who were not worthy. Only the strongest of the strongest now remained in my army. The group before me was clearly worthy of being my most elite warrior slaves, and it was time for my soldiers to be promoted. What happened earlier might have looked like I accidentally killed half of you guys. That's what it might have looked like, but that's actually not what happened. What truly happened is that was a test. All of you who stand before me have passed the first test. All right, so today we'll be handing out promotions. You've been promoted to Glizzy Gobblers. There you go. After promoting my slaves and giving them their first experience with the slave hunt, many of my slaves were extremely happy with their new role. However, it was clear to me that some of my viewers could not handle a little tummy ache and thought that their bellies being full was more important than being loyal to my army. I heard that Steve gives 2 loaves of bread a day. Bro, anyone who talks about Steve gets beat. You know what? You want to be with Steve so bad, Lur? Fine. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Lur. Be with Steve. Steve's coming right around. Anyone who does insubordination, if you don't want to be one of my slaves, that's fine. That is completely fine. You can be someone else's slave. Here's what Lore wanted. Lore Random. This is what he wanted. He wanted to be a part of fucking Steve's army, so here he goes. Look at him. I bet he's having the time of his life over there, aren't you, Lore? Oh, well, Lore Random is finally meeting his maker. His master has left him alone to fight one-on-one with a gorilla. So, Lore Random, this is what happens when you join other people's armies, man. If Steve's army had better rations, then why is he currently starving and almost dead? So I hope you learned your lesson, Lore Random 95. After showing my slaves the horrible fate that awaits them if they work for Steve, my slaves seemed to be much more content despite their starving bellies. Some of them celebrated their new promotions by initiating beautiful and elaborate interpretive dances, while others expressed their hate towards Steve by spitting on his soldiers. Once me and my elite warrior slaves returned home, it was time for us to take this small shack full of free-willed people and turn this place into an Amazon warehouse. So of course, I began enslaving as many people as possible. Black slaves, white slaves, fat slaves, skinny slaves, and even short slaves. It didn't matter. Every single one of my viewers needed to be enslaved, even if some of them were a little too excited about the whole slavery process. Once my slave army had more than doubled in size, and it was now full of warriors worthy to die in my honor, it was time to address some propaganda that had been spreading amongst my ranks. My viewers were making up complete lies, saying things like, "We have no food," or "We're all gonna starve to death." I just want to nip these allegations in the bud right now. I have a ton of food, and I will not be starving to death anytime soon. Now, you guys, on the other hand, look like you've been doing a great job following the photosynthesis training that I taught you. So I want to reward each and every one of you for your iron will. Today, as your slave overseer, I will be enacting a supplemental nutrition assistance program, otherwise known as SNAP. By killing one enemy in battle, or even enslaving them, you will be rewarded with exactly one food stamp. These food stamps can be used to redeem exactly one bowl of worms from our food bank. I know. Hold your applause, hold your applause. Now you might be wondering, who's gonna be in charge of digging up the worms in order to feed our army? Well, of course, it'll be the lowest ranked slaves. If your name is on the screen right now, congratulations. When you're not battling enemies to the death, you'll spend your spare time painstakingly digging in the mud through hundreds of worms in order to feed my slave army. Your devotion to the cause will not go unnoticed. After enabling our SNAP program, it seemed like the bellies of our slaves were being filled by the blood of our enemies and worms. Production was up, propaganda was down, and we even enacted methods to make sure no one thought about joining Steve's army. However, in the midst of preparing our soldiers for the City of Brink takeover, we were infested with crabs. These people wanted crabs to be everywhere. They wanted crabs in their homes. They wanted crabs in your home. And if you didn't have crabs, best believe they were gonna give them to you. I prepared my soldiers and rushed downstairs. And when they saw there was a chance for them to not have to eat worms for the next week, they were filled with the rage of 10,000 men. The crab raiders were extremely powerful. My army and theirs clashed to the death. The strongest was their mega crab Titus, who took out several of my soldiers. However, in the end, the lion does not concern himself with crabs, and we were able to eat all of the crabs and began capturing several of the crab raiders as our new slaves. After letting my soldiers rest for the night and inducting several powerful crab raiders into our slave army, it was clear that we had a powerful enough army that could even rival Steve's. However, despite my SNAP program in photosynthesis training, feeding this many slaves was nearly impossible to do with just a bowl of worms and a lot of discipline. So in order to establish a stable food supply, we're gonna need to take over a small fishing village located east of our true goal, Brink. There, we can gather as many reinforcements as needed to launch a full-scale assault on the city of Brink. So I began marching my army to the nearby Reaver camp located south of the fishing village. On our journey, my soldiers inspired each other to keep pushing through the pain, despite half of our people still starving to death. Thank you, Fendi. Fendi, instant promotion. You don't need food. All you need is war and blood. What is the need for food when you can taste the blood of your enemies? When you can eat the ass of your fallen foes? Who needs food, right? That's what I'm talking about. So we marched and marched until we finally made it to Camp K, a Reaver base focused on our expansion efforts. In order to assess the dangers of invading the fishing village, I asked for 2 of my viewers to volunteer themselves as suicide scouts. Thankfully, Florbo Gorbo and Insomniac were absolutely ecstatic to take an opportunity to get promoted within our ranks. So when the time was right, I sent them out on a stealth mission to infiltrate the city and gather information on their defenses. However, as they were traveling to the village, they were attacked by a group of fierce warriors who worshipped the moon. Due to Florbo Glorbo's extremely stealthy build, he was able to go undetected by the warriors while they chased down Insomniac. As Insomniac ran for his life, Florbo Glorbo was able to infiltrate the gates of the village, and when Insomniac came in, he locked the doors behind him, trapping all of the crazed cultmen in the village. Fight to the death! Get him, Florbo! Look at my slaves, bro. Achieving an overseer's dream. I could not be more proud as an overseer. Every time Florbo Gorbo gets up, he becomes even stronger, chat. He wants to get beat. It is his duty as a slave. Look at his 59 toughness. You will be the reason we succeed in this raid. Lead him over here, Florbo. After my suicide scouts achieved their goal, it was time to send in the reinforcements. I rushed my warriors into battle to subdue the rest of the village. Luckily, the preacher cult had done most of the work. After finishing off the preacher cult soldiers, Carrot Zombie was able to get the final hit on the general of the village. We grabbed the general, stripped them to their undergarments, and rewarded Carrot Zombie with the honor of executing the general. After killing the general, the fishing village was finally ours. My warrior slaves now had a true diet consisting of both worms and fish. To prepare for the attack, we gathered reinforcements from the nearby Reaver camp and spent time enslaving all the citizens, samurai, and even crab raiders until we had an army large enough to trample an entire city. Now, it was finally time to put that asshole Steve in his place. Yo, Frost! Dude, this is awesome, man. I mean, look, you captured an entire city. Congrats, man. I'm sure that was really hard work. Man, fuck you, Steve. You little shit monkey. I don't like you, Steve, and you're not better than me. I fucking hate you, man. Bro, and your toes are big. Go somewhere else. Now that the city of Brink is ours, and I embarrass Steve with my awesomeness, I think we can call this challenge a success. Thank you everyone for participating in my 1-year YouTube anniversary video. If you want more Kenshi content, check out my video where I ethically harvest skin in order to become human. With that being said, I love you guys and I'll see you in the next one.